everybody. How are you? Oh, let me get that. I know you guys don't like that scrolling thing. Thank you for coming back. Those who are coming back to see us. It's my fault. Mea culpa. This is Hogarth from Global Astrology. Thank you, Hogarth. Thank you so much. It's midnight where he is. Midnight. And I know. I felt so bad. But he came back and we had it set for 6 and then we changed it to 4 because it's 10 in England, right? And then
yes.
So we changed it. I sent him the old the old thumbnail that said 6 p.m. So we just got mixed up. So thank you for coming back. And well, while we're waiting, I get the comments up here. I do want to say something real quick. Lucy Claire, if you're there, I have a new member. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining my membership. I noticed her first thing in the comments, and I wanted to say thank you to her before I forgot. But I wanted to ask you, Hogarth, we're going to do political questions today, and I've got all you guys' questions that were here before to go first. And but before anybody else, you can write your questions. What we don't get answered, I'll do a show tomorrow and I'll answer them tomorrow. I'll read on them tomorrow. So you'll get your questions answered either way. So, but I wanted to ask you, I had Andre from Astrology Alert on a couple of days ago, and he is a Western astrologer. And I watched you and I love you. I love you both. And you're a Vedic astrologer. And I just wondered, while we're waiting for some people to get some questions in here and come in the room, what is the difference between a Western and a Vedic?
Great question. So basically, Vedic astrology, astrology is you can call it an ancient science. It's an old science. Really, astrology was you could say like the grandfather or the great grandfather or great grandmother of what we would call modern day science today. So it's a combination of astronomy and with a bit of physics and stuff like that as well. And there's a lot of math involved in astrology, but Vedic astrology it's at least 5,000 years old. So it's a very, very old tradition. And there is a lot of mythology in Vedic astrology. It's very much based on the stars, the asterisms, the actual star clusters and their names and what they represent. And what's different, the main difference is that Vedic astrology takes into account a phenomena in physics, which is called the precession of the equinoxes. So what does that mean? So you see here with your background here, you see you've got all the stars there. And great intro, by the way. I was like,
I know, I've seen you dancing back there.
Woo, that's pretty cool. But if we imagine here, if we look at your background, you see it's speckled with stars. So from our vantage point on Earth, the stars are actually slowly moving backwards by 1 degree every 71 years or so. Now, of course, they don't wait until the 71st year to move. They're just slowly moving backwards. And over time, that movement backwards adds up. So the constellations are actually moving. So in Western astrology, because this constellations like Leo, Libra, Virgo, because they're all moving backwards, we follow that movement. So basically in Indian astrology, everything has moved back by almost a whole sign. But that's where the actual Shakti or the energy of the stars actually is in the sky. So it makes it very accurate. So
is it more difficult to learn Vedic than it is Western? Are they,
Yes.
Yes. It sounds harder.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I grew up, I've been studying astrology since I was 8 years old, actually. I don't actually say that enough, but genuinely, since I was 8 years old, that's when I took an interest in Western astrology. And I think if I didn't know Western astrology, it would have been that much harder to learn Vedic because it is very complex. but then it can also be profoundly simple as well. But it's a lot to learn, remember. Yeah.
Okay. And so you started learning when you were 8 years old, you started buying books and things like that and learning?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I realized, oh, it's connected with Greek mythology. Oh, the planets are named after gods, and the names of the gods are the same as the planets. And then I started learning about what all that meant, etc., and stuff like that. I mean, I wasn't doing consultations back then when I was 8, but I mean, I was learning principles, you know, Linda Goodman. Yeah, Linda
You're a
Goodman.
smart little boy.
Everyone
Were
is
you good at
kind of.
math? Were you good at math? Because don't you have to be really good at math to be an astrologer?
It's well, thankfully we have modern software now, which helps. We have modern software that can do all the calculations for us, but you do have to be able to understand mathematical principles and, you know, basics of geometry and stuff like that. And even though in Western astrology, even though they're 24 degrees ahead of the true placements of the stars, however, the ratio, the distance between the planets is the same. So there's still things which are trines, squares, oppositions, stuff like that, which we still keep the same in Vedic astrology as well. But it's often in a different sign, which can change the meaning a lot.
That is so cool. I love being able to watch both of you and get both points of views. And I seen you just did a 2024 predictions too. So you guys, if you haven't got to see them, it's in his community page. You can scroll down and he's got his 2024 predictions on there if you want to see that. And also, I've got Hogarth's link in the chat, but I've also got it in the description box when you leave. If you have not met Hogarth or if you've not watched him, you have to. You do. He doesn't show you do it with Lena and Lady G, and they do politics, and you do other things too besides politics. So
yes,
I noticed that you did astrology charts on different people. Well, I just want to see who's in here. Hey, everybody. I just want to thank you. There's a lot of people come in here. I don't think I could say hi to everybody, but thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I've got
I can't see anything on my side, but you know, I guess
see anything on your side. I should have made
now it's just come. Oh, now it's just come. Now it's just come.
I
just clicked on. Yeah. Oh, there's lots of you here.
Well, I was going to tell you, I don't know. I just wanted to mention this, just some things that I saw today. You know Robert De Niro, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, by the way, let me know, you guys, if I sound okay on here. I was having trouble with my mic yesterday. I think I got it all fixed up. Well, anyway, he was getting an award for the Gotham Awards for the Killers of the Flower Moon, a new long 3.5-hour movie he made with some other people I watched. And I guess he got up there and he made a speech about Trump. And they edited a lot of it out. He got mad, got up there again and said, I'm going to tell you the full version without the editing. He was talking about how Trump has told 30,000 documented lies in his presidency and continues to do so. And he was going on and on and on about how he's trying to change the history books and all the different things. And then he kind of told them off for editing him. He cannot stand Trump. And I think it's funny because Trump tries to act like a mobster, like a tough mobster. And De Niro always played the tough mobsters. He said, he's not a tough guy, you know. But I was watching that and I thought that was interesting. And also I found out, and I was wondering if that first I thought I was going to ask if that would affect his career. But then I thought it's Robert De Niro. The people that love Robert De Niro love Robert De Niro, and the Trumpsters who are going to get mad at it, I don't think Robert De Niro gives a darn, you know, because he's older. He could retire. He don't care what they think. But Trump is being sued. I just seen this today by Sandra Garza. She is a partner of the Capitol Police officer Brian Sicknick. He died after January 6th attack. The lawsuit named Trump and 2 other January 6 rioters who attacked Sicknick and demands millions in damages. I thought maybe we could throw some cards and see, will she win this lawsuit? Because it says many of the participants in the riot say they felt they were acting on Trump's direct orders in service to their country. Will this defense work for them? So I thought maybe we'd read on Sandra Garza. How will she do on her lawsuit?
Absolutely. And how interesting, because I have at the base of the deck straight away, I've got the star, which can also represent United States. But this is also as well, not that the star has a shadow, but one of my shadow interpretations for the star is the narcissism of Trump. So how interesting that the star should be at the base of the deck before the question even begins. What's she called, this woman again?
Sandra Garza. And her partner was Ryan Sicknick. He died. And
yes, Sicknick. Yes, I remember his mother came on, but obviously his partner. Oh, bless. So will she be successful in her case? Is that the question? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's have a look. See, will Sandra be successful in her case? Oh, I'm still running my discount, by the way, only for a few days. If anyone fancies a little bit of a change, to have a bit of a Vedic astrology interpretation of their chart, and it's on my channel. Let's have a look.
I get a Queen of Cups. This is her, and this is a yes card that she is going to win, because the tables are going to turn. They, they know that is not a good. That's not a good defense to say, well, he told me to do it. If he told you to rob a bank, you're still going to be guilty. So I think they're going to make a decision on this. And then I got the Ace of Pentacles. She's going to manifest. It's showing the Ace of Pentacles. She's going to manifest some money. She will be prosperous. I don't think she'll get the whole amount of money. And the bottom of the deck, I got the 10 of Pentacles. So it looks like she's going to win that lawsuit.
Wow. What'd you get? Okay, so I normally pull 5 cards in a spread. Very interesting, actually. So the cards that I get, the first card that I get here is the Fool. Now it's the right way up. So of course, sometimes if the card's reversed, especially, you can interpret it as being foolish. But this isn't the case here. The Fool is also about a leap of faith. Understanding that the universe is going to catch you if you fall. So in this interpretation here, of course, this lady is literally taking a leap of faith, because we also understand as well the MAGA crowd is so vicious. And we know what Trump is like. He uses that crowd almost like a kind of like a Rottweiler, doesn't he, to turn on his opponents. So she's actually being very brave here, being very bold, and literally taking a leap into the void here, because when she does, she's more than likely going to be attacked. We know what Duck L'Orange is like. If we see here, sometimes the second card can be seen as an opposition, but really this is elaborating on the first card. So we see here we've got the King of Swords, which can mean, of course, legal battles, legal cases, wanting to employ some kind of sound judgment, stuff like that. So I think this is literally the court case, which is a bit of an obstacle in of itself, because it's filled with dangers. Anyone who goes up against Trump, you got to be ready, because he will turn that crowd onto you. But I think this is her here, the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands deals very much with a woman that is, she brings people together. She can be a hostess. She can be a kind of a glue for the community. So I think this is her also not necessarily wanting to do this for herself, but maybe for other people, and to set that groundwork. Yeah. And she's using her intuition there. But we also see important choices to be made, because the Lovers isn't just about relationships. I mean, obviously, this will speak about quite literally her marriage and the partner she lost, because of course this would have been her partner. But the Lovers is also about big choices, big karmic choices. So when we combine that as well with the Fool, this really is a very key and important part in her life. But if we look here, her outcome card is the Magician. And this is excellent. Whenever you're wanting to win something or start a new business or have success, this is actually one of the best cards in the deck. So it means she's going to use everything at her disposal to win. And I would say the odds are in her favor. If Trump will actually have any money left by the time she wins her claim is another thing. But I'm going to say she stands a good chance.
Well, not only is she going to be suing, but there is another woman who went to jail for 2 months because she was an older woman. She was part of the insurrection. She said she just didn't understand why. They said, Trump's going to the Capitol. Trump's going to Capitol. And she thought, well, why? He just did his speech here. So she goes to the Capitol thinking Trump's going to speak there. She almost got trampled to death. The police there at the Capitol saved her. And
Wow.
but since she was there, she got arrested, and she was arrested since she was in there for 2 months. So she is also suing Trump because she wouldn't have been there if not for him. And there are other people that I think are going to be going to jail and suing Trump, saying we did it because he told us to. We thought we were serving our country. We thought we wouldn't have a country if we didn't fight. That's what he told us. So I think that if she wins, that's going to bring on more and more and more cases. And if I do my pendulum and say, will Sandra Garza win her case? Yes, against Trump. And I'm getting, look at that. That's a big yes. It doesn't usually swing that big. So I think she's going to win.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And also as well, I think rhetoric matters, as we would say. We often refer to it as rhetoric in the UK, political speech, essentially. It really does matter, because he was adamant and he was very clear. He said, if you're going to fight, you're going to fight like hell, because if you don't, you're not going to have a country anymore. And when you use that power of the office to speak in that way outside of the Capitol, that is incredibly powerful. I mean, of course, these are adults. They were maybe, riled up, full of rage, etc. But when you have that kind of thing and that constant propaganda and the heat of the moment and the excitement and the thrill and all of that kind of stuff, people kind of lose the plot a bit. And Trump knows that.
Oh, yeah. And then you had Rudy saying, let's have a fight by combat. And another one was saying stuff like that, too. So they were all riling them up. And what did they think was going to happen? So I think there's going to be a lot of lawsuits.
Yeah.
Then Thankful, this is a subscriber and a friend of mine asked, how will Biden come out when the war in Israel and Gaza? Muslims here in Michigan said they won't vote for Biden. Well, it's not Biden's fault. I mean, he had nothing to do with it. It's another country. So, but I feel sad for both sides. I don't like war. War doesn't do anything except help the people, the big people. But let's just see maybe how is this going to affect his presidency, I guess, is what she's asking.
Sure. Let's see. I know, what am I doing here?
It'll have a bad effect on him.
Oh, actually, I hope I didn't time someone out. No, I don't think I can on my side. Let me just see. Someone was asking, they were saying they were doing, they were saying that they've, here, Dianne Green was saying, I've studied Western astrology for 13 years now. Now I have Vedic astrology, astrolight, and she says she's totally confused. Bless you.
I would be confused too.
Yeah, move everything back by 24 degrees. So what's the question again? Sorry.
Well, the war, because a lot of people, the Muslims in Michigan, where she lives, are saying they're not going to vote for Biden because of they're blaming him for some reason about all the stuff that's going on, all the Palestine, all the innocent people. And it's sad because I feel sad for the innocent people, especially children on both sides. But they're wondering, even though he didn't start this war, even though he had nothing to do, is it going to affect his votes?
Yes,
So
I think it will. Let's see what the cards say. But yeah, almost certainly. Let's have a look. But let's see what the cards say.
so he's still good enough to be able to.
In Israel. Oh,
You get some interesting ones.
yeah. Do you want me to go or
Yeah, go ahead and go. I'm just kind of looking at mine, trying to make sense of this for a second.
Okay, no problem.
So if you beat me, you go ahead and go first.
No problem. I've actually got a reversal here with this deck, and this is a new deck, and I don't get reversals with this new one, but I just have. It's very interesting. So in terms of the vote, how will it affect the vote? So here we've got the strength card here. So the way I look at that is that Biden is quite literally, he's going to have to dig quite deep here. He's going to need his strength. He's going to need his resources, because of course, as we know, he didn't start the conflict. However, how many are interpreting is the response, because of course, you know, Israel is a big ally of the United States, and I think America gives, how many is it $1 billion each year, or is it multi-millions? I can't remember, but there's agreement. But there's a significant exchange of money. So even though obviously Biden is not making the choices, the relationship is such a close one, it is affecting him by contrast, even if that's not necessarily fair. But because of what's going on in the Middle East, it's so dramatic. So I think he's getting some blowback, and not just from people from the Middle East as well, the young people as well. So he's going to have to kind of dig deep here. He's going to have to find his resources and his strength, and he's going to have to try and position himself in a way where maybe those conclusions can't be reached, if you know what I mean. It's not easy. It's not easy for him, but it looks like he's got reserves. However, if we look, another major arcana card here. Now, this is Temperance, but it's turning up in technically the obstacle position. So Temperance is all about trying to gain a balance. As you can see, the liquid is moving up and down between the cups. It talks about chemistry, alchemy. But when it's in the obstacle position, it can sometimes mean the chemistry is not quite working. The balance, they can't quite get the balance quite right. And, you know, I've been avoiding certain images of Gaza, and I just saw some stuff recently posted, and it's just Armageddon. It's awful. It just looks dreadful. And again, it's just so complex and so difficult on both sides of the arguments and stuff like that. If we look here, my middle card, I've got the Knight of Swords, but reversed. When it's the right way up, this can be about rushing into battle, you know, stuff like that. But here, this can actually mean something that is cruel, extremely, extremely violent. And of course, this, I think, is talking about the conflict itself, which has just been vicious, hasn't it? My goodness. If we look here, there might be calls. I'm not sure if it's happened already, but some people may even call, because I've got the Knight of Pentacles here. Some people might call that the money to Israel may be either reduced or slowed down. I think because look, this is one of the slowest cards in the deck. And I think, isn't it already the case that the GOP is already kind of trying to say that they want to stop funding and stuff?
Bernie Sanders is.
Yeah, look, we see it here. So there's going to be calls to kind of reduce or slow down the money. And then the outcome card here is the Page of Cups, which I nickname Stinky Fish. So this can be, you know, an unpleasant message in regards to everything going on there. So I think it's actually going to be a bit of a challenge. How much it will shift, we'll have to see, but I think it is a factor. What do you have?
Okay. Well, I got the Hierophant, and I was thinking this is Biden, you know, and this is a maybe card. So maybe it is going to affect him, you know, and maybe I think he will still win, but the world is watching him. The whole world is watching him over this. And he's trying to figure out a way that he can move forward. People are mad because they see his partnership. They see that he's helping, they think, Netanyahu. And they're seeing that this has caused just tragedy, you know? They feel like it's an injustice, justice in reverse. It's an injustice. But it's really a false accusation because he really didn't start this. They think it's unfair. They think maybe he's biased. That's another reason this can be. It can also be that he's biased to Israel against them. And so a lot of the Muslim people feel since he's biased, they don't want to vote for him. I feel like this is kind of the Five of Swords. It's like an empty victory. Even if he wins, it's a, you know, whatever way he goes, it's an empty victory. You know, if he goes with Israel, he has this side mad at him. He goes the other side, that side's mad at him. So no matter what he does, he walks away, and he is, you know, he can't win. It's a no-win situation. So he's going to stand up with, this is the Seven of Wands. He's going to stand up for himself as the best way he can. And they're going to be talking, I did my pendulum, and he will still, I get he's still going to win, but it is going to cost him some votes for some Muslim people, because either way he goes, if he goes this way, then he's got Jewish people mad at him. If he goes this way, he's got the Palestinian people mad at him. So he can't win. But I think Bernie Sanders, some people were upset with him. He was saying that they're going to have to put some conditions on helping Israel. They have always helped Israel without question. Without any question, Israel needs help, we help. But in this case, they're going to want to put some stipulations on things for the help, is what I heard.
So that's probably why I got the Knight of Pentacles then, isn't it? Because I said it looks like they want to reduce the money, or they want to slow it down, and that Strength card was showing he is going to have to dig deep on this one. I think it's going to be quite close. You know, it might be closer than people think. Yeah.
I think so too. So it's just more reason that everybody has to vote, because, you know, we cannot have a Trump presidency again, because it won't be a free country if we do that.
Yeah. It's over. If Trump wins, it is over.
It's over.
Yeah, he's made it clear. Yeah, it's over.
Now, Fleck, he asked, when is Governor Greg Abbott from Texas going to jail, and also Ken Paxton as General of Texas? Ken Paxton, I don't know much about him, but Greg Abbott, will he be going to jail?
Oh, Greg Abbott. He is a piece of work. He is a piece of work, that one. Greg Abbott.
They wanted him to take down that fence with all that.
Trouble is with these characters, they are very slippery.
They're like evil. They're like villains. You know, and you watch these movies where they have the villains, they feel like the villains. Greg Abbott is horrible. In fact, he shouldn't even be governor, because the other guy admitted that he cheated and took away some of the votes. I don't know why they're not going after him for that.
Yeah, it's outrageous, isn't it? Greg Abbott, will he go to prison? So a yes would be if we see things like the Nine of Wands, perhaps. That could imply that. Or the Eight of Swords would imply prison. Let's see what he gets. But if he gets the Ten of Cups, probably not. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay, just for one more card. You got yours? Go ahead if you do.
Oh, sure. Okay. Greg Abbott. What a slippery. Anyway, we look here, I get the Six of Pentacles. So straight away, we can see immediately, what is this all about? It's about money changing hands. This is about, obviously, not only just financial gain, but this is gaining service and support from patrons. Yeah. So this could literally be the donations that come in from the MAGA crowd. But I think this is actually more talking about how Greg Abbott has been assisted to his position in the first place by a generous benefactor. So you mentioned that there was this person who admitted that, you know, he helped him out a bit. There it is. You can see spirit has come straight in here. If we look, of course, for Greg Abbott, that's been wonderful. He's been like, oh, thank you. I've made it, you know, because this is the card of, you know, Ace of Cups is the emotions overflowing. It can be feel all wonderful and nice, or feeling all loved up. However, this is technically the obstacle position. So I think, you know, if we interpret this card in reverse, I think this can actually talk about how a lot of Texans are actually feeling about the tenure of Greg Abbott. He has caused a lot of heartache and a lot of upset and a lot of tumult for people. However, if we see here in the middle card, this is talking about, look, it's the Six of Wands, which of course is what? A positive. It's a victory card. I mean, sometimes it can be interpreted as pride before a fall, but in this context, he seems to be pretty rock solid so far. So in terms of him being put into jail with this kind of card, I would be surprised. I would be surprised, because he's got a lot of backing and he has a lot of cunning, and he knows how to use his money, his assets, and his rhetoric. You know, he's one of the, I'm not saying he's a genius, but he's one of the slightly brighter ones of the you know, he's got a bit more brain power than some of the other ones. He's very cunning. If we look here, though, he's still having to make choices. If we see here the Two of Swords, the person is blindfolded. So there is still something that they're maybe not wanting to see. I think this is an aspect here where Greg Abbott himself is willfully blind, or pretending he doesn't know what is going on. We all know if Duck Larange gets back in power, particularly with that Project 25, we all know what's going to happen. It's going to be the end of democracy. And he's sort of playing the fool in the way, like, oh, that's not really going to happen, etc. When really, I think he does know the truth, particularly when we see the outcome card here, which is the Queen of Cups. And normally in a normal context, this can be talking about an intuitive or a creative woman, but really we need to focus. You see where her hand is on that cup. Sometimes Lady G refers to it as the crucible of abominations. So this can actually deal with secrets, keeping your powder dry, knowing something more than you're letting on. So I think Greg Abbott really is part of that wider plan for a victory, which is based on patron support for his campaigns to basically keep him happy and keep everyone else happy as well. That's my spin.
Well, I got the judgment card. So he is being judged. He's being judged by a lot of people that know the things that he did were wrong. And then I got the Knight of Wands upside down, which is an arrogant, reckless kind of a man. But he's got the Seven of Wands. So he stands up for his belief. He's standing up for himself. He's arrogant. He's arrogant. Unfortunately, I get the Ten of Swords in reverse. I think he's going to survive this disaster. And I do feel like he has some anxiety about it. He's been staying up and he's been worrying a little bit, but he still thinks, because he's kind of has hopes that Trump's going to win, you know, by hook or by crook. But he does worry about it. But I do see once his term is up, he's going to leave, you know, and they won't have him back. But I hate to say it, but I do think he's going to squeak by. Unless when the Democrats take over, you know, the energy changes at that time.
Yeah, but I think it would take a convincing Democrat win to kind of shift him over. Look, I think he's still got plenty of air left in his tires. I don't think he's going anywhere for now. I think he's actually he's very cunning. He's very cunning. He knows how to play that game. Do you know what I mean? He knows how to push it but not take it so far. And I also think as well, he's probably got quite a lot of information on people. And I would imagine getting rid of Greg Abbott would lead to a lot of consequences for people. He's very cunning.
I think Trump has information on a lot of people too, you know.
He does. Yeah,
and
really
plus people are afraid of him. They're not afraid of him. They're afraid of his followers, his cult followers.
And what he will say. Yeah.
Let's see. Mary, I think it's Epperson. She asked, she lives in Florida and she wanted to know if we see her state turning blue in the future. Right now, she says, we have the Orange Yeti. Thank you, Lena, for that name. It fits him perfectly, she says. The Santos and disgusting gates in her town. So she's wondering if we see the state turning blue.
Matt Gates there as well. Oh, my Lord. It's like the Exorcist down there.
I know. I sent you a thing on the Santos. They had, have you seen him try to smile?
Oh, you sent me. I watched that. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that funny? I got it in my community page, guys. It's talking about how they have a cure for DeSantis' inability to smile, and it's hilarious. I found it hilarious at the moment, anyhow.
I think he's one of the most disingenuous politicians I've ever seen, and one of the most talentless. He's very deeply strange man, deeply strange, and no charisma whatsoever. Anyway, will Florida turn blue?
Okay. Will Florida
blue? Might be a long shot. Let's see. Will Florida turn blue?
Well, let's see what I got here. Get my glasses on. I think they're trying to make some choices. There's a lot of people in indecision because they don't know what to believe. The ones who follow Trump really don't want to believe. They want to believe that, yes, he's innocent. This is all political and stuff. So there are a lot of them that are seeing stuff and they're confused. And so a lot of them are going to be watching and they're going to be weighing it out, you know. Do we believe him? Don't we believe him? I think there will be some that will move away, that will leave the Republican Party, and there already has been some. I think that there will be a change in the future, and they will find out the truth, but will they turn blue? I tried to use my pendulum on that, and I just asked, will Florida ever turn blue? And this is a maybe. Right,
yeah, it's going a bit like
diagonal. Yeah, so that can't tell yet.
Yeah, maybe purple. We'll have to see.
That might be it. It might turn more purple, but I don't think it's going to turn straight. Chances of it turning straight blue are not real good.
Yeah, I saw that, Pendra, and I got the same instinct. It was like going like, Well, would you like to see my cards?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so this is interesting. So will Florida turn blue? Here we've got the world card. So one simple interpretation could be the world is watching, but really the world card is about completing a cycle after a long journey. It is, I think it's actually, one of the last, I think it's the last card of, or near the end anyway. I always forget, forgive me. But, so really what this says to me is, if Florida were to turn blue, I think quite a lot of time would have to pass. I think the closest, like with what your pendulum said and what my sort of psychic instinct is, purple at best, folks. Yes. I think we have to be realistic. A lot of cycles would have to end. Also, as well, Florida is more mature. As we know, a lot of people retire in Florida and they're more conservative. And also, as well, the Latin community is more strongly represented and they tend to be slightly more conservative in their values as well. In terms of, if we look at the next card here, particularly as this is the opposition card, this is a state of kind of being, the Nine of Wands, being embattled. I think this is actually how Ron DeSantis is feeling now. When you see that little video from Deann, him trying to smile, it's the fakest smile I've ever seen.
I can't do it.
Yeah, it's just dreadful because it's so insincere. But I think this is DeSantis, how he feels about his campaign now. Do you remember he thought he was the GOP darling and, they've kind of put him forward on Fox and stuff like that. But we have a saying in the UK which goes like this: you can't polish a turd. Yeah. I know that's a bit rude, but it's true. And we're seeing he just doesn't have it. And he's feeling this way. He knows his campaign is not going well. And he just got trounced by Gavin Newsom, didn't he, in that Fox debate, allegedly, that they had. If we look here, look, this is really part of the problem in terms of Florida turning blue. There is a lot of corruption. We know DeSantis is deeply corrupt along with all of his other kind of cohorts. But this also suggests as well, like in your card, Deann, where you were talking about the voters not wanting to believe certain things. This can mean codependency or being chained to an idea, to a concept. And I think these are the voters who are still chained to Trump because we know he is the devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we look here, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles don't just mean money. They can also mean values as well. And I think this is, again, about more conservative values. You'll notice here how the Queen is paying close attention to that coin, not wanting to stop it. So what this suggests to me is that there are a lot of households in Florida that are still maybe quite traditional values, and maybe are not quite liking the direction that the country is going in. However, there could be new partnerships and agreements in the future. I think a lot of water is going to have to go under the bridge, but they might be willing to compromise or embrace new ideas at some point. So I'm going to say purple at best for now.
I agree. Oh, did you hear that, Kyle Rittenhouse, the kid who shot those 3 people at the Black Lives Matter protest?
Yes.
He is wanting to run for office now. He is only for the Republican Party, and he has a whole bunch of Republicans that are backing him. I looked up, though, to see how old he was, because I thought, is he even old enough to do that? So I looked it up. He's 20. You have to be 25. But they are trying to groom him to run for office in the public. It's like, if you're a liar, a murderer, it's like, run for the Republican Party. We want you. It just blows my mind. So I just had to tell you that. I heard that today, and and Donald Trump too. This is something I wanted to let everybody know. He was talking the other day on a speech that we should not allow immigration in our country except for Christians. And I said, doesn't that sound like that's not what this country was founded on? Freedom of religion, separation of church and state. They're actually wanting to make it where nobody can immigrate here. So what about the Jewish people? What about, it's just craziness. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone ever since, So we have
are you gone?
Sylvia Munoz wants to know, what about Hunter Biden's future? What do we get for him?
Yeah, that's an interesting. And someone, no name, said, I think the saying is, you can't polish a turd. That is what I said. No name. That is what I said. So,
I think we have that same saying here. I've heard that saying here too.
Unless I misspoke. Did I misspeak? I think I said it correctly. That is what I said.
You said it right.
Yeah.
You said you can't polish a turd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's this? What are we reading
We
on
want
now?
to know, what do we get for Hunter Biden?
Oh,
If we get anything, how they're wanting to take him, and he wants to testify or subpoena him. I know he wants to have it televised because, you know, they lie. If it's not televised, if people can't see it, they're going to lie. And they're saying, well, they can lie too on Fox News. Well, they can lie too. Well, why not televise it? And let's not lie. Let's let the people see the truth. So maybe we should see what's going to happen with that.
Let's have a look. Yeah, to Biden. I mean, he's been through the mill, hasn't he? I mean, my goodness. I did actually make a prediction earlier this year, or maybe late last year. And when I was looking at Biden's chart, I did say, I said, they're going to put Hunter Biden through the ringer, because I could see certain aspects, a Saturn aspect onto Joe Biden's moon, and the moon is the most sensitive part of the chart. It deals with the mind, but it also deals with family. And there was an aspect as well with Mars going through his 12th house, and Mars can actually represent a male son as well in a person's chart. So I knew Hunter Biden was gonna, you know, have a tough one. Oh,
it's just terrible. They're doing it just to get even with. It's like Trump has so many things. It's like, look over here, look at Biden. And now they're thinking that they have enough that they don't have enough. They're thinking they have enough votes that they can impeach Biden. I might read it. Okay. Get this over here.
someone here in the comments is saying Jezebel 57 in regard to Florida. She's saying the Latin, mostly Cuban, is staunch Republican. So just giving us a little feedback there.
Okay. Thank you. I always like that. I try to keep up with the news and stuff, but sometimes, you know, it's just so much, you know, sometimes it's hard to keep up with it. I get the 8 of Cups. He cannot move on. They won't let him move on. He already said he was guilty. They already had the thing, but they will not let it go. They will not let him move on. So Page of Pentacles, he's trying to come up with a plan of action. You know, he's talking to his lawyers right now, trying to come up with a plan of action, kind of laying the foundation for what he's going to talk about. Again, you know, balancing what he's going to do, what he's going to say. This has been just totally upheaval for his life. This has just totally ripped his life apart. It's destroying him. He hates this. And he did have a problem with drugs. And so I'm surprised. I think they want to get him so stressed that they're hoping that he goes back onto drugs so they can use that against him. They want to tear his life apart. And I think he is exhausted and he feels backstabbed. He is just really hurt. And I think his dad is too. He is right now, he's just tired and fatigued. And he's trying to stand up for himself. I think that it is bad timing they're doing this. This is in reverse. So there's going to be delays about this. But in the end, there's going to be karmic justice. And I think he's going to be fine. They're not going to win.
Very difficult for him. Well, what I've got here, I mean, look, gets the death card. Yeah. Now, of course, the death card doesn't always mean literal death, but what this is, he is going through a rebirthing process in many ways. And this can actually be really quite a painful process for him, because if we look in the death card, here you see the Pope here pleading for the king's life, who has been trampled underfoot. And here you see the wife clutching the child. And I think he also understands where we can extend the metaphor of this. This case is being used to what? Potentially trample what? His father, the king, the current president. So he also understands that this isn't just about his life. He's being used as a tool to potentially damage his father, because that's really what this is about. And this is really what the GOP are trying to do. They're trying to trample Biden's presidency, and they're using his son in order to do so. But this is also generating a huge kind of psychic and spiritual crisis in his life, particularly as well. If we look here, I've got another reversal that's turned up, and this is the seven. What's that? The Seven of Pentacles. Yes, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. When the card is the right way up, one is pondering. One is pondering one's yield, one's input, what you've sown. This can actually speak about the spoiled harvest. So I think with all of this stuff that is going on, where they're trying to get at him, they're trying to get at Joe Biden using him, I think he's actually reflecting on his life and having quite a lot of regrets, quite a lot of shame, and quite a lot of embarrassment. I mean, if you think of what Marjorie Taylor Greene did by putting naked pictures up of him in Congress, I mean, that is tough. I think that would wound anyone. It's difficult enough, him trying to move on, and they don't want to let him forget. But they're just reminding him of his past indiscretions. And for her to do that, I think that was a really, really low blow. I really think it shouldn't have been allowed. I can't imagine that being allowed in a British court of law, for you to actually show pornographic naked pictures of someone. I've just never heard of the like. If we look here in the middle of the spread is the Six of Pentacles. So this is all about what? Family and a sense of nostalgia. He's probably reflecting on his life, and he's also reflecting on these attacks on his family as well. Remember as well, they're not just talking about Biden, they're talking about the brothers. So he's probably reflecting just on absolutely everything right now. When we see here, we get the Judgment card, call out. So, of course, he's obviously being judged, quite literally. And he's in the middle of the maelstrom. But this is also an opportunity for him to purge himself, to become spiritually clean again. I would, if I were him, I would go on pilgrimage. I would go to India. I would go to or Tibet, or some very, very spiritual place, and just go on pilgrimage. Yeah. And when we see here, he gets the his outcome card is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is showing that he is in a time of his life where fortune is playing out a role. However, it is the right way up. So it means the person is more inclined to luck. I think he's probably going to make it through in the end, but it's not going to be easy. And there's almost the death of the ego process that he's going through right now. It's a real spiritual challenge as well for him,
and it's horrible. It is. And even that woman that they took the pictures, she could, I think, this Sylvia Munoz asked, will Hunter Biden sue everyone from the GOP? I feel like he will sue MTG. She's the one who brought that up. I think he will sue her, and I think that also the girl that was in the pictures that was shown without her permission could also sue. So yeah, I read on that before, and they're gonna. He's going to sue MTG, and he is going to win. He's going to sue, and I don't know, that lady might too.
And at the base of the deck, when you were saying that, I get the government card as well. So yeah, he might get justice in his favor. It was outrageous. It was outrageous, and it demeans the office to do that. To the office as well, to show naked pictures of the, outrageous.
It's disgusting. And then you see a senator trying to get in a fist fight with another senator, who it was another senator. It was a Teamster. It was the president of the Teamsters. The senator was going to fight him, standing up, going to fight him. And he was, I think he's a martial arts expert. I just thought, and Bernie Sanders is like, sit down. You are a U.S. senator. Sit down. It's just, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for us, for the whole world to be seeing this. America has always been looked at, you know, usually with respect, and it's just Trump has embarrassed the world, us especially in the world. So yeah, I'll be glad when we don't have to think about him no more. Unique One said, what's going to happen with Senator Bob Menendez? Will he be charged for working with Egypt? Yeah, they got in his apartment. He's I don't know, I think he's a congressman. And they went into his place and they found a bunch of gold bars and they found tons of money stuffed in his pockets. He's a Democrat. So, not good, but I'll read on it. But I feel like if he did it, he should be gone.
Oh, yeah, if he did it, then what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. Yeah, and if he's done wrong, yeah, throw him in jail. Absolutely, absolutely. No one should be spared. The stakes are too high. It's just too important.
It is. It needs to be. You break the law, you're out. I don't care what side you're on.
Yeah.
What will happen to Senator?
Oh, jumped. Wow, had a car just leap out.
I can't believe you can stay. You're still wide awake. You look so good. I'd be like this at midnight.
Thank you.
Oh no.
Well, I'm often up late with Hogarth, so it's not unusual for me. But I do have clients tomorrow, so I've got email.
Yeah, this will be our last one. And then you guys, I will write down your questions, and we'll try to get them tomorrow. The ones I didn't get. Will Bob Menendez be charged? Okay. Well, I'm doing my pendulum while he's doing the cards. Will Bob Menendez be charged for working with Egypt? Tell me the truth. Show me stronger. Okay, I'm getting yes. I got, let's see. Well, this is the card of secrets. He's got secrets. And this is him waiting. He is feeling like he's going to go to prison. He's worried about prison. But let me see. I don't know. But then after that, I get the Sun card. But this could be that they're going to reveal things as well. So, but then after that, I get success and victory. So for which side? So, but when I do my pendulum and say, will he be indicted? I get, yes, he will be indicted. Will he go to prison? Will Bob Menendez go to prison? It's a maybe. It's not giving me a strong answer yet. So I think they're looking into more secrets. There's more. I think at the bottom of the deck, though, he's planning he took some risk. He's planning on what he's going to do. I got a feeling what he's going to do is step down rather than go to jail. I have a feeling they're going to make him step down if he's found guilty. But it's maybe because they're letting it go through the court first. Which the Republicans are going to say, well, you didn't do that with Santos, but Santos, everything was a lie.
Oh, please. Oh, please. I mean, there wasn't a shred of truth in anything of that man. He was an absolute charlatan. And I'm glad that they made the right choice, because it was so egregious, so outrageous. He demeaned everyone. He should never have been allowed through the front door in the first place. That was ridiculous. And they could have saved themselves the shame, got rid of him, and then actually just rerun the race, and they may have actually got someone better. Anyway,
well, he did. His mistake was he started telling on them, saying, well, they're all a bunch of drunks and they beat their wives and they come in hungover and they give up their card to other people to vote. And so he pulled a Madison Cawthorn on them. He started telling their secrets. That's when they're like, get out. They didn't care what he did, what lies he told, as long as they had his butt in that seat for the vote. But when he started telling their secrets, it's, gone.
Well, yeah, Madison Cawthorn talked about the parties and everything, but it's what he will do is, obviously he's going to try and write some book. He's probably quickly penning his memoir now because he's going to have a lot of bills to pay. But I think with Santos, he's going to spill the tea on a lot of things, and people just need to see it. We already know it's true, but people need to see it.
But who
But
can
back
believe
then,
him since he lied so much? I think he's going to write a book in prison, but who's going to believe it? I mean, they could say, well, he lies about everything. He's lying about that. But I'm
well,
sure he'll write a book.
Indeed, he should be an entertainer on TV, really, to be honest. If he survives prison, they'll probably give him his own show if he survives.
I'm going to watch Saturday Night Live tonight. They've got some skits on about Santos.
Oh yeah, he's ripe for comedy and stuff like that. But in terms of Mendez, this guy, so if we look here now, what I get from him is the Empress. And what is this card about? This card is about wealth. It's about abundance, overflowing, fertility, everything like that. Everything kind of going your way. This could also speak as well about the wife as well. Sometimes the card can actually refer to pregnancy because the Empress is often pregnant. But the way I interpret is this. I think this is all the gold bars at home and the pockets filled with cash. Yeah, I think he's probably been taking backhanders for a while. Yeah, been taking backhanders for a while. And if we look here, we get the Fool card returns again, but this time in the obstacle position. So we can interpret it as reversed, which can mean what? Foolish decisions in regards to what? Wealth and abundance. Yeah, you're not supposed to keep the gold bars at home or your pockets stuffed with cash. You put it in a safe, you secret it away. So when they raid your property, you still have your stuff. But anyway, such is life. So here he is, in a way, in the mid. Like, this is sometimes referred to the King of Cups as the Biden card. But let's just see this as the Democratic Party overall, who's looking on at this and thinking, oh, God, this is the last thing we need. Yeah, because both, isn't he in the Senate? I thought, because they were saying if he goes, then that could affect.
He's in Congress, in the House.
All right, in Congress. Okay, but still, this is an issue. This is an issue. It's a close run thing for the Democrats. But look, the legal process has to happen. The King of Swords, the legal process has to happen. And when it does, I think he's kind of going to retreat a bit. We get the Hermit card here as the outcome. So this can talk about seclusion. It may not I don't think it necessarily means prison, but I think he may have to withdraw himself from the limelight and certainly go within, or be sequestered, or maybe he has to do community service or something like that.
He is a senator. You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. I just left my brain, but yes, he is a senator.
Yeah. So if he goes, that will affect the very slim majority that the Democrats have in the Senate. And you see that King of Cups card came up, which is often the Biden card, but really I could see it was representing the Democrats. So it is an issue. It is an issue, but he's probably going to have to go away.
Well, everybody, I gotta let poor Hogarth get some sleep. He stayed up here so late. He's doing so. You look so good for being this late. Like I said, I'd have bags under my eyes. But I would ask you guys to like and subscribe to my channel if you don't mind. I really appreciate it. It's free. I'm trying to get to 4,000. I'm only like 300, I think, away. And then I'm going to give away 4 free readings. And please go, if you're not subscribed to Hogarth, please do. He's wonderful. And then watch him too with Lena and Lady G. They make me smile and laugh. They're really good. You are a brilliant astrologer. I am so honored that you came. And I'm so honored I got to be on your channel, that time.
It was fun to do this again. That was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
We will get it straight. And I'll send you, make sure you have my phone number. If there's any questions, you call me.
Yeah, we'll be on WhatsApp. That's the easiest, the WhatsApp, because folks, when we do these time zones, and you can imagine as well, at this time of year, the clocks go backward, they go forward, and it's the first one is always a tricky one, but we've got this one now, so it's all good.
Well, ignore where it says on your WhatsApp. I did try WhatsApp, and it's like, Hogarth, where are you? I didn't know it was my fault. I am so sorry. I couldn't
Oh,
figure out what
bless.
was going
That's
on.
what, I'll have a look. I'll have a look to see if I got the messages there. But send me your number and I'll add you, and then it will be easy. It's best to have it on WhatsApp.
I will. Did you want to tell them about anything before we go? Any shows or classes or anything you want to announce before we take off?
I've got. Thank you. So I've got some more collabs coming up. I've got Voices from the Swamp. I think it is coming up. Yes, and oh gosh, forgive me. Her name's just gone out of my mind, but that's coming up in a couple of weeks. And if anyone would like a Vedic interpretation of their chart, which of course follows the astronomical placements of the stars with the ancient mythology and all of that stuff, then of course people can feel free to have a reading. I've got 25% off at the moment. The code is Crimbo25, so CRIMBO 25, all lowercase. If you click on one of my videos, you'll see it in the description. So if you fancy that, take advantage of it. I think this is the last week. After that, nothing.
Crimbo
I mean, you can still book, of course, but I mean, you won't get to.
Okay, I wrote it down, so I'll put it in the description box too. The Crimbo 25 for the discount on your readings, and do they just email you?
They can just go to my website, which is hogarthglobalastrology.com. And they can go on there and they can just book in my open diary, and they just put the coupon code in once they've made their purchase, and then before they make their purchase, then they get the 25% off. Of course, November sold out, December sold out, January there's still some dates left in January, but it's something I like to do at this time of year.
Well, good. Okay, well, you guys, I'll put it in the description box. There's links down there. I'll put the coupon code on there. And thank you, Hogarth. You get some sleep, and thank you, everybody in the chat. And we'll see you next time. And we'll plan again.
We'll collab again. We'll do something next year.
Okay, sounds good. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.